knowledge can go a long way when it comes to enjoying a glass of wine. The World Wine Guys joining us again, Mike DeSimone and Jeff Jensen, are the authors of Red Wine, the comprehensive guide to the 50 essential varieties and styles. And they have some tips for us. And we're going to begin with one of my favorite tips because I'm sort of a wine snob about this.
Great.
The type of glass. It makes a difference.
It does.
It really does. And we're going to demonstrate that right now. I have two different glasses of wine here.
So,
this is called the Crossings Pinot Noir. It's a Pinot Noir from New Zealand. I want you to smell this.
Okay.
And now smell it in this glass.
And now I want you to smell it in this glass.
All right. Let's see if there's a difference. So much stronger. You can actually smell it.
Yeah.
And when you're tasting it, the smell is all part of the taste,
Smell
right?
is so important.
Do you want to try a little sip? Do you want to do a
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
sip from there?
That one's got a little bit more room to aerate the wine. So you have a little bit more flavor.
So you're saying it actually tastes different.
It will taste different as well. Now taste it from here, and what you will probably find is that you enjoy the wine more and get a broader variety of flavors out of the product.
It has a bolder taste here, right? So you can taste the different flavoring in it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, we always recommend using a product. In our book, for example, you know, in our Pinot Noir chapter, we talk about the different glasses to use for the different wines.
Right.
A Cabernet Sauvignon glass, you know, a Cabernet Sauvignon glass is a little bit more tulip shaped. This one's a little bit more bowl or bulb shaped. So we use different glasses for different flavors and different grape varieties.
And if you can get the best taste out of the wine, there's so many decent, inexpensive wines for people now.
Right,
if you can actually make it taste a little bit better than in this
you know
glass.
what? And nice glasses are not super expensive either. And just this wider bowl at the bottom and then the narrower top, it concentrates the aromas a little bit. And also just the difference.
That they look better.
Exactly. It looks much better in your hand.
Much nicer.
All right, well, let's talk about opening up a bottle of wine. You know, there's two different ways to open up a bottle of wine. There's a screw cap, right? It's just, you know, screw cap. So now this bottle...
Easy.
Are the wines worse in a screw cap bottle?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Jeff's going to open this one with the corkscrew, or the wine key.
This is a waiter's wine key. You know, I worked as a sommelier and as a waiter here in Chicago, you know, years ago. So I learned how to use this. So this was a foil cutter. I just took the foil off the top, okay?
A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just go straight through. And you've got this ragged top, it spills, it doesn't...
Now, I don't know about you folks at home, but I have a hard time using these.
You just have to hit it in the center of the cork, right? And then all you're going to do is use this lever here to pull the cork out.
Yeah, I must be doing it backwards because somehow it just doesn't come out correctly.
See?
Why is that better than some of the other ones? I mean, the one I use has the two sides where you can just get leverage and crank it.
Sometimes they're okay, but sometimes I find they shred the corks a little bit. So there's a problem. Sometimes what they call the worm, the corkscrew part, is not as fine. They're a little bit thicker. And
this is a little bit better,
but,
you know.
You asked a question. We have two different Cabernet Sauvignons here. You asked, like, are the better wines under cork?
Right.
Not necessarily. You know, this is the Joseph Carr Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. That's about a $20 wine. You put this under cork because you might want to keep that for a little bit and let it age, and the cork actually allows air exchange into the bottle. So now we have here the Villa Pozzi Cabernet Sauvignon, also
from
a Cabernet.
Sicily,
this is Sicilian. With the screw cap, this is a $12 wine. It's a younger, fresher wine. You're probably not going to save this.
You're going to drink it right away as opposed to buying something good to save and age, then get the cork.
I like the idea of a cork for a wine you're going to lay down. So let's talk a little bit about wine preservation systems.
Well, yes, because if people want to have a glass of wine with dinner, they want to somehow request it to have another one tomorrow. Or you and your husband are having two, you're having two glasses.
Well, let me show you. Here's one of the best ways. You know, just put the cork back in, and this will last for about a day. Okay. If you want to save wine for a few days, we have something called a VacuVan. It costs about $10 on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, any place. And basically, all it is a rubber cork.
This is just a little rubber stopper. It's got some holes in the top, and I take this little VacuVan, and this is the Skyfall Chardonnay from Washington State. And all I'm going to do is just take this.
Let me hold it. This is a slippery table.
You give it a few pumps until you hear that clicking. You know that you've actually sucked out the air. And displaced it, and now you actually have like a neutral.
And let me
How many days will it last with that?
About 4.
3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do this right by my microphone.
$10.
Listen to this.
Oh
So it puts a really nice
seal. It really did seal it.
So now for a more expensive bottle, we have here, this is the Gerard Artistry, which
that looks fancy and it looks expensive.
That's about a $60 bottle, and the Coravan is over $300. But if you're drinking good wine, it's worth it.
Sure.
So,
you know, if you want to just open up a bottle and have a glass yourself, say your husband's not drinking, you don't want to waste a $60 bottle of wine.
Absolutely.
You want to just have a glass out of it. So there's a surgical needle that goes into the cork, and then this is an argon gas cylinder. So I'm going to pump a little gas into it, and then the gas displaces the wine, and the wine comes out. See how I'm doing that?
And the cork,
but yet it's still corked.
The cork is still intact. Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant.
See?
So that will actually keep for months.
So here, you hear that little noise there, and we can actually pull this up.
Oh, so you can see there's the needle.
See? Right there. The cork has not been pierced.
You could put that back in your wine cooler. Cool? You could put it back on your shelf.
So if you put it back in the wine cooler, you know, if it's turned over, it's not going to leak even with that little hole in it?
No,
it's like it's so thin, it's surgical steel, it reseals.
Yeah, there was a little drip, so just be careful, I guess, if you're putting it back. Look at me with my hand out.
It actually takes a couple minutes for the cork to kind of like come back together.
So, I
but it'd be absolutely fine.
And then once it does, it's fine with that. So that's a big investment, but maybe worth it, especially if you want to preserve the wines.
If you drink expensive wine,
let's try this wine. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Oh, sorry,
salute. Cheers.
This was wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Their book, by the way, is called Red Wine, the Comprehensive Guide to the 50 Essential Varieties and Styles. If you want more information, check out worldwineguys.com, and we're going to have a link on our webpage as well at WGNTV.com/midday.